we've all been reading about some of the changes in your portfolio and strategy, so it might be helpful for the guys to hear your point of view. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Sorry, should have done it at the start, but Intel Capital is a venture arm of Intel. We've been investing for over 20 years. Roughly, we invest around 400 million per year. So we are an evergreen fund out of Intel's balance sheet. We tend to lead most of the deals. 70% of the times we are leading. We are stage-wise Series A, B investors. I know there was some recent rumors that even saying Intel spinning off Intel Capital. I can't comment on those kinds of things, but I can tell you Intel is very well committed to Intel Capital.
Good. Brad, you want to talk a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I'm with Motorola Solutions Venture Group. Motorola Solutions has been around since about 17 years or so. Much smaller organization. We'll do maybe 8 deals a year, $1 to $5 million investments, also an A and B stage. And it has to be highly strategic to Motorola's current business, which after all the restructurings and spin-outs and all that, we are now focused on public safety, law enforcement, first responders, the communicate, exactly. And the next one.
No, so I knew that Brad was going to tell me, guys, he said he was going to be a little bit late, so I can't wait until everybody.
No, but I'd be interested to learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing. And so I'm the guy on the West Coast. We have two guys in Chicago and a guy in Israel, so we're a pretty small team. What we invest in has to be highly strategic to the company. We're very active investors in comparison to other corporates. Typically, we don't take full board seats. Typically, we don't lead. However, the deal we just closed yesterday, I did lead. In that case, if we lead, we don't want to take the full board seat ourselves. We'll have the right to appoint an independent board member.
Good.
Who did you go with yesterday?
Pardon me?
Who did you invest in yesterday?
Well, we haven't announced it yet.
Got it.
It's basically in the productivity workflow space, which is a little different than what you might think. Trying to improve the efficiency and productivity of public safety personnel.
We need it.
Exactly. That's what they need. Sorry, did I take your place?
No, that's you on.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Phil Reitnauer. I'm the founder of Emergensee. Basically, I found Emergensee with my family when we were on vacation. As being a widowed father of 4, their safety and security is the most important thing to me. On the way home, we were at an event and we were going back to the hotel. A road rage incident started to develop and it got very involved. So what I needed to do was dial 911, tell them where I was at, what was going on, and continue to drive and avoid any collision with this crazed driver. Make a long story short, we eventually found a location where there was authorities, and the incident terminated because he saw it and then drove off. Later we were talking that night, and one of our phones illuminated with all the apps, and we said, man, there's a better way to do this, all with one tap. And so what happened was we then went out, started to develop the product, filed for the patents, started to have some product market fit, and then I found a security individual with 20 years experience and a love and passion for technology. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jason Freeberg, and he's going to tell you a little bit about our product and what we're doing.
Thanks, Phil.
Jason.
I appreciate everybody's time today. So what we're going to talk about is Emergensee. We live in a very uncertain world today, but we also live in a connected world, and a world where the traditional public safety and security foundations are no longer meeting the needs of today's users. So we created Emergensee. Emergensee is an integrated safety as a service solution that takes existing wearables and apps and integrates Emergensee directly into them with just a few lines of code. Imagine walking down the road, or imagine having your wife buying something off of Craigslist. Emergensee is there. Imagine your best friend going out on a date for the first time with someone that they met online. Emergensee is available. Imagine you're going out for a run as well. All of these situations, Emergensee is there to give you and your family peace of mind all the time. How does Emergensee work? As Brad knows, Emergensee started initially as a personal safety app. We are installed at colleges and universities across the United States. We have corporations, even the FBI is a client of ours. The best part about Emergensee is that it gave us an opportunity to learn much about our marketplace and how to go to market. But what we didn't learn, or what we didn't know, was the big deal that the excuse me, that the sharing economy would be for a product like ours. And so what we've done is also additionally created an integrated safety solution. Imagine having an app like Lyft or Waze or Airbnb, all with Emergensee installed on it. Imagine you're getting into your Uber cab and you have the Uber app open. With one tap, you can engage the Emergensee background to start up and alert family, friends, or Uber security that there's something going on. We can stream real-time audio, video, GPS location, those back-end monitoring centers, or just send an anonymous tip saying this car is messy, or this guy's kind of creeping me out. Things that we're hearing and seeing every day. It's a great solution opportunity for the users and for the companies to provide good corporate corporate responsibility. Safety and security is a great cause. Phil and I have dedicated our lives to this. I've dedicated my entire career for this space. What we also learn is that safety and security can be good business. Emergensee has 3 revenue models. The first is a fixed monthly revenue model. Secondly, we have an integrated transaction fee, and then third is a monitoring fee. All of these combined, and we can customize them for our users, and with just 2 of our planned initial deployments, we believe that we could reach roughly 600,000 monthly recurrent revenue from just 2 of our prospective clients, one of which we're meeting with later today. How does this work? Well, if you look at this big picture, we have our app, which is a standalone, has been live for a while now. We have our SDK and our API. We also do our own monitoring. So, with someone like Lyft and Uber, 600,000 drivers domestically, $1 a month per driver, it's a no-brainer for them. It provides instant third-party monitoring and some plausible deniability. But look at all of the other areas that we can go into. Dating, home security, navigation, fitness. Everybody wants to wear Strava. Everybody has their app open when they're running. Sales, Craigslist, and eBay when you have to meet people, as well as what we really think is a boon area for us, home monitoring, where we just install with a base platform like Hub from Samsung to provide all those solutions. So what are we looking for as a company? We're looking for a couple things. First of all, we believe we have a very extendable technology. Our technology today integrates into any overlaying apps. We also believe it can integrate directly into hardware like Nest and Hub is providing from Samsung. It's also a standalone feature, so we can have it as a personal safety app, our original presentation to Verizon, verified yesterday by the entire country of Israel launching our app clone over there. It's not our company. It's someone that stole our idea and launched it for the entire country of Israel yesterday. So we know the United States is going to come online there. We believe we have a $35 billion market. All of those areas that we showed you are viable product candidates for what we're doing. We have a unique and underlying technology which is protected by IP. We have high quality and real-time customer content, and we're very focused. We have focused sectors that we want to go into, focused milestones to hit. We want you to join us today in making this journey a reality, both for individual users and large corporate customers and governments. We're looking for an initial investment for Series A from 5 to 15 million, or we're looking for a strategic acquisition from a larger company. Thanks very much. We also have a demo.
The demo would be my first question.
So,
So, I'm sorry,
Emergensee.
is part of the format of this, is it just like a 4 or 5 minute presentation
Yeah,
like
5
that?
minutes, so he's already 40 minutes, 40 seconds over. I try to keep it around 5 minutes and then a 5 to 10 minutes Q&A.
Okay.
So, with one tap of Emergensee, it starts uploading audio, video, GPS, real time, anywhere in the world. We've gotten this down to a science. It drops a pin in the location where you are, and it brings up your name on a board. You can click into it, and it goes right into that incident. That incident brings up your name, location, who you are, and it immediately starts communicating with our end user. I could hit yes, no, unsure. If this is where I am, it comes right back here, and now I've had direct communication with the dispatcher in real time. So it provides a lot of additional information to them. It also provides the agency of jurisdiction information. So we know exactly where you are and can communicate directly with that agency of jurisdiction, police, fire, or EMS. The best part of it all is it lays over solutions. So existing Motorola or other company solutions that are out there can add this on top until they integrate it into their solution. So it's an instant go-to-market for them for revenue generation. It also allows us to provide this platform out with companies that are not currently even integrated or using it through a back-end connection, an email connection currently, where you send it, it gives them a link and can go directly into this back end. So first responders in their vehicles can now see that on their MDTs and have situational awareness as they respond and get on scene.
It's a modern 911.
It is a modern 911, correct.
Well, that's dangerous road that you just,
Right.
that you just started to go down, because NG 911, when you say modern, and then what really is how does this integrate or compare to where NG 911 is going?
So NG 911, we're actually on the board for ICE 7. We're on the committees for APCO and NENA. NG 911 only gets us up to text to 911 and enhanced location information. We're actually one generation above that. We can integrate direct video, audio, GPS, personal profile, and texting today. So we can actually leapfrog everything they're doing in NG 911 today and provide a current solution for that, which is exactly what Israel did yesterday.
So in Israel, there's a third-party company that.
But not affiliated with you at all?
Correct.
Somebody else is doing it?
Correct.
So this is the I came in late on the last presentation, but one of the things that you mentioned, which is, I think, especially in this space, you're not the first mover. There are other players in the space.
Yep.
You gotta show a comp table. I've looked at so many companies in this space. And I mean, as part of your core presentation, that really has to come out early. Because
So we have some competitors in this area. Most of them do anonymous tips, two-way texting, profile, emergency notification, and professional monitoring. Nobody is doing streaming audio and video. We have the patent on it, it's IP protected. There's also nobody in this space that's also looking into the API solution to become an API company to provide this to other third parties.
And they're really positioned as a safety as a service platform that integrates and embeds into third-party applications and other security providers' platforms.
I'll give you an example. I think the key there is, last month, Uber had 800 incidents that shouldn't have gone through 911. But they should have been monitoring it appropriately.
so why doesn't, Uber has so much money, why wouldn't they just build some kind of an internal communication?
Ask them.
So I actually believe that Uber shouldn't do that because they need third-party autonomy. They need to have incidents routed through somebody else that can provide that.
It's
Because
feedback, right?
it's feedback, but when you start to have these critical incidents that they have lawsuits against them for $30 million for sexual assaults or attempted sexual assaults, or drivers doing damage, or those sorts of things, the ability to have a third-party company provide that service for them provides them autonomy. It provides them the ability to have some product liability from what they're doing and some separation from them for litigation purposes. It also
That's
provides
illegal.
them.
I don't agree with that. I
Right.
think that's a legal issue, that if they are aware of it, so for example, if you're working with them and you're
Right.
providing information about a situation,
Correct.
possible rape or whatever, if they learn about it, no matter how they learn about it,
Right.
whether it's from a third party or their own internal, it doesn't matter. If the question in the courts would be, when did you know about it? Did you notify authorities
Right,
immediately?
absolutely.
That's-
But they also have nothing in place currently.
Yeah, okay. Well, you
right.
can help build.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's the meeting today. That's the meeting we're having today,
Right.
to go out and have that discussion with them is, you've tried to build it in India, you deployed it last year, it was not well received, it's not well liked, it doesn't do as much as it should.
They deployed.
They deployed
an
Israel.
internally built solution.
Correct, and they.
Within their app.
Correct, and they did it because India was gonna close them down, they had 1
Yeah.
month to deploy,
Yeah.
they just built a quick panic button, it's horrid. But it gets them to, it got them to the point where they know that they need to do it, they just haven't done it properly. And do they wanna spend the time and cycles to do it, or do they wanna buy it, or partner with a solution like ours to be able to do it much quicker and much easier?
We have 4 minutes.
Sorry.
Comp table, this is not enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would, when company names, the key parameters, obviously, from your own perspective,
Okay.
it's gonna be biased, but still,
Sure.
this is not good enough.
Okay.
For a company.
Okay.
You need to name companies and say, yeah, we're aware of all these companies, the key players out there, and this is why we're better.
I have one, it's so big and,
So there's so many players.
Pick the top 5 or the top 10 that are most
Yeah.
competitive,
No,
and
I have,
best capitalized.
and that's what we have.
Yeah, and then the other thing is when you talk about the Israeli company, the only risk in introducing that company into the conversation is if I'm, as a VC and as an investor myself, I look at that opportunity and I say, well, who are they? I want to call them.
Right.
Because they sound like they're farther ahead than you are right now.
Right.
So, I mean, so be careful about that because that can actually work against you. It's an interesting validation and data point, but
Yep.
you gotta be careful about how you introduce that into the conversation.
Yeah, it's,
Right.
yeah, if you say, hey, they stole my idea, like I think you were trying to allude to, and ran with it faster, me as a VC, I go like, they executed better than you,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
At the end of the day, it's the execution that's the differentiation.
Ideas are a dime a dozen.
And it's great that
Unless you're litigating against them and enforcing your patent, which is a
Right.
different,
Story.
issue.
Right.
If
Well,
you-
I think
if that was
Verizon
the
has
next
to
point
come
you
to
were
the
about
US,
to make,
right,
yeah, then I would have been like, okay, good.
Exactly, and it helps them, it helps us not only to validate, but also to say, they can't come to the US with what they have, because we have the patents on what they're doing, because we actually did it, filed the patents 4 years ago.
Okay.
So two other quick comments. One is about the competitive nature of this. Turns out, I have a stepbrother who's chief of police at University of Missouri.
Okay.
So there was another company that came to me last week. It was kind of cool. It's a keychain-based one that communicates through your smartphone.
Okay.
So that in itself is an interesting differentiator in that you don't have to pull out a smartphone, put in a
Right.
password, and
Yep.
then now whoever may be following you or whatever can see you're doing that,
Right.
right? So that's a danger as opposed to what this company did was just a keychain.
Right.
So that comparison of the features and functionality, why yours is better,
Right.
or not.
And we do have the wearables integration as well. We try to show it with the runner, as probably the app on the smartwatch as
Yeah.
opposed to a dongle,
Yeah.
a wireless dongle.
And then the other was, when because it sounds like you're planning to leverage channel partnerships.
Right.
As investors, I want to understand the economics of that.
Okay.
Okay, I want to understand, because that is going to be the key motivator. What's going to motivate them to push you into their market, right? And
Right.
pull you into their
Right.
market, and so therefore, how are they going to be compensated? I don't see that at all in here, right?
Okay.
Is it a rev share deal? How lucrative is it for them? Why are they going to be motivated to work with you and make you their exclusive partner and to get paid for it? What does that look like?
Okay.
If that's the model, I mean, if that's your primary go-to-market, you gotta explain that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and you said you are trying to get into Uber, is that?
We have a meeting today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We have a meeting with Lyft coming up as well.
Okay.
A meeting with Waze and one other as well, and Samsung, to provide our product through them. Not necessarily as a channel partner. Samsung's definitely a channel partner play, but the others are really paid for as a service. We'll work with you to provide that security background and that pass-through that currently doesn't exist and is what we think is a big flaw, a big missing piece for your solution.
Yeah, so in Uber's case, they're the customer and they will pay a subscription fee plus a transaction fee on a per incident basis. And in Uber's case, there's a tremendous amount of motivation because they have a security issue, so they have a trigger in their business to do this. But with a lot of the other providers, a lot of the other platforms, for example, like these running apps and the Fitbits, or even applications like Waze, there are opportunities to monetize with the end user as a value-added service and do a rev share.